Hi Virgo, this is your forecast for the month of August 2018. This is a general reading for Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising, or Virgo Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. So Virgo, the first week of August, you're starting off with a major card. For some of you, there's a strong tie to a Cancer person. But for others of you, there's something in focus connected to travel or messages or perhaps a conflict of some sort. So you may be focused on an actual vehicle or doing some kind of traveling, or maybe you're transporting something. And for those of you who are grappling with two sides of yourself, maybe you're at peace with who you are. So this is a week where you feel very emotional and you could be in conflict with somebody over issues of prosperity, finances, or perhaps you're doing a lot of traveling, or you have a lot of emotion or a lot of focus toward a goal. But this is a week where you want to make some progress. There's two sides of a situation. They could be in opposition. Either you're in opposition to someone else, or you're in opposition to your own self. And this week you need to get clear about that. You need to have a clear purpose, and you need to move towards some goal that you have, very focused and very determined for success. So you may be asserting yourself or using your willpower to drive circumstances forward because you want to overcome some challenge. You want a victory. You want to feel triumphant. So this is a week where you have a lot of energy that you direct towards some kind of goal or sense of purpose, and you want to win. Now, again, part of the obstacle could be that you're at conflict with somebody, a conflict of interest, or maybe you're having some issues connected to your vehicle or a new car. Maybe you're just hustling to try to stay on top of a situation. And in the process, you're also having to, rein in your impulses, your instincts, your anger, because this is a week where people can push your button. They can trigger emotions from you. You can feel yourself getting angry, and you may be trying to hold that back. So this week, you're focused on how you feel, what your attitude is about a situation, what your moods are, what your views are. And that's having an impact on those around you. And this is a week to get clear about what your role is in a situation. At some point, you may take the reins. You may be in charge. You may be driving forward towards something. In other situations, you may be playing passenger. You may take a back seat to others and let them take the lead. So there are going to be issues, again, related to travel or communication that cause you to have to change your schedule somehow. It could be your time schedule. It could be your financial budget. It could be your strategy about something, how you're going to relate personally or what you're doing professionally. But you're going to make some changes. And this is a week where you want to be very focused, very efficient. It's about being a leader. And because there are some changes, it's key that you are flexible, because any changes are likely not to cost you what you think they will. You may have to relocate, you may have to travel. There's something unusual about the week that ties to romance or seeking adventure or intrigue or something unusual. You want to make some gains. And for some of you, maybe there's a connection to, again, prosperity, whether that is financial or emotional. Maybe you're getting in touch with nature. Maybe you have a sense of gratitude about meeting a goal. For others of you, you're going to have to be very concentrated because you're going to feel as if, somebody has stuck something in the spoke of your wheel. It's hard to move forward. Maybe there's some annoying delays that you have to contend with, or there's been some miscommunication, or again, maybe you're having some vehicle problems. Maybe your car breaks down, or you have some medical issues that you have to deal with. So patience is going to be a challenge for you this week if things are not rolling along as quickly as you want them to. You may be so obsessed about meeting a goal that you become you're willing to override others in the name of self. Or you may be so obsessive about a situation or a person that that's all you can think about. And as a consequence, you add too much power to that. You give too much meaning to that person or that situation. Some kind of circumstance may be out of control or beyond your control, and it's likely because you made some kind of misjudgment. You miscalculated something. You didn't give something enough stock or enough credence, or you just simply made an error in judgment, and that's the cause of things not progressing as smoothly as you want them to. It's for certain that, a couple of your relationships are going to enter some kind of new phase. And you're going to get some eye-opening information, a new perspective, a new perception, something that broadens you, broadens your horizons, allows you to grow in some way, whether comfortable or not, if you're paying attention. Now, the second week, you have the Nine of Cups. And so perhaps you were very focused, and now this week you're going to get your wish. Or maybe you're very determined to get your wish, or there's a conflict about what you wish. This is going to give you the feeling this week that you can either step into something or you can step out of it at your will, because there's something that you're going after, and something that's important to you. And maybe other people are involved and you have to go through them, and you ask for it, and lo and behold, you get it. So if you want to negotiate terms for something, or there's something that you had your eye on and you want to barter for it or get a better price, this is the week. This is the week to be very focused and try to meet that goal. Feel like a winner, because it's likely that you're going to be a winner. This is the wish fulfillment card. Now, again, you could be obsessive about something. You strongly desire someone or circumstance, and, regardless, you're going to get that thing. Come hell or high water, you want what you want. But you may not be facing the truth of a situation or what the consequences are of getting that wish. So you may actually invite some kind of intrigue into your life that's overwhelming or challenging. Maybe you bite off more than you can chew, because this is a card of excess, perhaps going too far, pushing the boundaries perhaps, or somebody being very smug and arrogant and closing off to what they have, or closing off to sharing it with others. Now, maybe you are getting your own way with something, and again, you're not meeting any resistance, you're not having to put forth a whole lot of effort, and you get that better thing, that bigger thing, the thing you were after. But for others of you, you are yielding to some kind of temptation. Perhaps it's eating too much or drinking too much or pushing some emotional boundary. But there's a temptation in front of you, and it's difficult for you to maintain that integrity. Maybe you're conflicted about giving in to that temptation. And maybe when you get your wish, if you go after it, you realize that it's not what you expected, or you went too far and you worked against yourself somehow. And specifically because, again, that miscalculation, you overestimated another person, a situation, or perhaps even yourself. So this is a week that focuses on your gratification, emotional happiness, material happiness, sensual pleasure. But that pursuit of pleasure without the thought of consequence is always a possibility. Now, positively, perhaps you were in a conflict and you have victory over your enemies. You have overcome some difficult challenge. But in other cases, you're looking at where perhaps you were unrealistic about something that you want. You have been excessively preoccupied with gaining some kind of pleasure, and maybe you've gone too far. There's been some kind of extravagance, or your values were superficial to begin with, or you suffered a loss. Or for some of you, there's some kind of abuse of some sort, drug abuse, alcohol, you're abusing your body, maybe other people, could be some self-centeredness or a lack of generosity or charity. And so, again, you're having to make sure that you don't let your ego get in the way of a situation and overwhelm your common sense, because your emotions are very driven by that Chariot card. So you may get your wish. Hopefully it'll turn out to be what you want. One of the things that you are seeking is for something to fall into place. Maybe you've been in a conflict and you want that struggle to end, or you're satisfied with the decision that you've made finally. Or you've been at odds and now you want to seek some harmony, some peace. Or maybe you're satisfied in reaching your goal. Now, the third week, you have a major card. For some of you, there's a strong tie to a Leo. But for others of you, perhaps there's a focus on children. Maybe you were traveling for vacation, or this is about a romance, or this is about something that ties to your destiny, perhaps dealing with some authority figures, or dealing with a father figure, or being a father. Or some of you, you're involved in something academic or scientific. And the sun is about your happiness, your vitality, your health, your sense of well-being, your optimism about life. So this week focuses on those happy things, getting success, feeling fulfilled, feeling empowered, working toward your ambitions and having confidence in what you're doing. So there could be something prosperous this week, especially if you found the courage to go after something you desired or something that you wanted. You may achieve some kind of victory, some attainment, because opportunity abounds for you this week. Again, it could tie to your happiness, your prosperity, your emotional well-being, your enjoyment of life, the outdoors, nature, being creative, being inspired. So for some of you, you're going to feel very hopeful about the possibilities that this week holds. And you're going to be able to look at things in a much more positive light. You feel satisfied. You feel a sense of abundance. And you're putting forth a lot of effort to make something happen. Now, on the other hand, while this is a week full of success, you may not necessarily realize the other challenges that are going to come with success. You know, there's some burdens that you have to deal with wealth, or it's a lot of work to stay on the top of the heap or be on top of the pile. It can be lonely at the top. So something about your ambitions is going to open up a doorway and those opportunities, but again, also greater challenges, more responsibility, more work. And you're gaining more insight into others. Again, remember, the Chariot is going to give you a new perspective about your relationships. It's going to open you up if you allow it to. So you're going to understand the role players. You're getting a grip on the game and who the players are, what their roles are, what your role is, what your purpose in life is, and what your true connection is to all of the players. So you've got this bird's eye view, this game plan about how to move forward on your destiny. And this is a week where you're going to attract positive situations, people who can open doorways, who can help you overcome challenge. You are a mover and shaker this week, and you're connecting with others. You've got a lot of influence, and you're coming in contact with people who can influence positive situations for you. So you may be sharing some good news, you may be getting some good news, and this is going to happen because you're adopting this positive attitude, this non-judgmental attitude, especially if you're, using that Nine of Cups positively as a catalyst to get ahead, rather than being arrogant or closed off or cocky. You're going to get great results in dealing with difficult people by being the best of who you are. So this is a week where people have your back. You've got a great resource that you can draw upon. This is people who can give you information. They can introduce you to the right people. You're making good acquaintances. Your friends are supportive of you. You're getting what you need to move forward. But for those of you who are pushing too far, you're obsessive or you're investing too much in a person or circumstance, you're giving your power away, you may end up feeling burned out. You're trying to push something and you're putting too much energy, or you're getting frustrated because you're not getting the results as quickly as you want to. Now, regardless of your circumstances, this is a positive card. So in spite of a delay or a setback, you're likely to have some bright spot that you can look forward to. But you have to make sure that you don't eclipse that by being doubtful of yourself or circumstance or your capabilities. You have to look at, where you've been going out of your way to try to impress somebody or save a person or a situation, and was it worth it? Or was it a negative situation that was detrimental for you? So this is a week where you can be egoistic. You can use the Nine of Cups negatively, and the Sun can put a spotlight on your temperament, your anger, especially if you haven't been able to curb those impulses. Somebody could be narcissistic, temperamental, frustrated, and those things actually get in the way of your goals. There are too many demands, too many expectations. Somebody's expecting too much. They want it to happen yesterday. They're pushing too hard. And again, there's some kind of burnout as a result. So this is about remaining diplomatic, congenial, in spite of whatever circumstances, difficulties, or challenging people you may be facing. If something isn't working out your way this week, let that frustration drive you to overcome the obstacle in a positive way without running over other people. Let it inspire you to be the best. So you could have an appreciation for life this week. You feel that gratification, you're enjoying life, you have plenty, you feel contented, or you're having to look at what you're holding on to, with dear life, and what it's costing you ultimately. Now, the last week you have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is earth energy. So this could very well be you or someone else. This could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this queen. Now, her appearance is a good sign if you're trying to reach a goal, if you're trying to develop abundance, because she's a good business person. She bodes well for finances and business success. She has good business acumen. So either you're practicing that or you're connecting with somebody who can give you some sound advice. And this could be a week that focuses on getting organized, planning, using your talents, cultivating something, and perhaps sensibly managing your money. This is about material gain, nurturing something, and being very down to earth in that process. This lady is a hard worker. She wants to see results. And somebody is going to be looking for answers. They want to know what the bottom line is to something. That could be you or someone that you're involved with. Now, because this lady is a hard worker, she expects others to be working hard as well. So she doesn't take kindly to laziness or self-indulgence, because she's very practical. Now, she may have wealth. She appreciates money. She may even like to display her wealth. And she's very concerned about the welfare of others. So she may be protecting the family. She may be going over her budget. She may be working the garden. She may be taking care of her animals. She is concerned with being helpful. She could be a helpful friend to you in some way. So this could be a week that focuses on being practical, managing things, and the sensual side of life, things that connect to your physical senses, your health, your vitality, the things that feel good, but even so, taking a sensible approach to get organized, being very shrewd, and this about ownership as well. Maybe you're focused on acquiring something or beautifying something or caring for something, because this is all about good management. So for some of you, because of the circumstances that have occurred, again, you're getting all of this support, you're connecting to people of influence, you may feel very secure about taking that next step, moving ahead, taking something to the next level. Maybe you're going to have to start over. Maybe it's with somebody from the past. Maybe it's somebody new. but you are aligned with somebody where you share common goals, common interests, where you're on the same page, you feel mutual affection and respect. But because this is a week of managing, somebody may be stepping out of bounds. Somebody may be making some decisions without consulting all the parties involved. And so then some control issues come up. You have a difference of opinion. And we get back to that Chariot card. So you could be conflicted with somebody. And this is about working together rather than being apathetic about connecting with others. This is about trying to find that common ground, reconciling those differences. And again, understanding who's going to play lead role, who's going to play supporting role, and are we going to take turns with that? Now, this has to do, maybe this is somebody that you're enchanted with, or maybe again, you're focused on bringing some idea to life, some goal that you have, or manifesting something, attracting something that you desire or wish for, and trying to wield your influence. For others of you, you're maybe not on solid ground. You are operating under an illusion, and you need to take some steps. You need to be more practical. Maybe you don't have a sense of purpose, or you're lacking some personal power. It could be that somebody's getting totally caught up in the pleasure principle. And maybe, they're using pleasure as a substitute for something real, more meaningful. Some of you, you're at odds with somebody due to a power struggle or some financial issues, or you've connected to somebody that was unwise, or maybe you can't make your wishes become a reality for some reason, or you're connecting with people who are focused just on the status of a situation, what they can get out of it, and they're not giving a whole lot back. So somebody may not be using common sense this week, but in the positive, this is about getting down to business. Now, because this is a court card, if it's not your energy, it means that somebody else is going to be making that final decision. Now, the underlying energy is this Nine of Wands. So whatever this is, you're putting everything into it, and it's starting to tax you physically. You're questioning your stamina, whether you have the wherewithal to complete whatever you're doing, to complete the mission. But you are drawing on your reserves. You're very determined to make something happen. Whether you're in a conflict or not, you're maintaining your ground. You're holding up in the struggle. You may be coming under fire from others, but you're trying to push through. Now, for some of you, you're being defensive about this situation, and maybe that's called for. You feel very guarded. You want to protect yourself, your rights, your reputation. It may have to do with something you were involved with previously that still isn't resolved. So for some of you, there is going to be a delay. You're anticipating something, but it hasn't shown up yet. And in the meantime, you're being very protective, and you're willing to go the distance for what it is that you want. This card speaks of a victory. You actually have a lot of positive cards. The Chariot in the best of situations is a victory. The Nine of Cups is getting what you want. And the Sun is being optimistic and confident and achieving some success. And the Queen of Pentacles is a good sign for business and money. And so even though you've been struggling, there is a victory for you. It could be some unexpected things, though, that again wear on you physically. Maybe you've had some setbacks, some close calls, and you're reeling from some of the things that have occurred lately. And you're having to go back over some things, rethink some things. You are reassessing what your values are, what your habits are, and why you may be stuck at this moment. And when you change how you're looking at something, you're going to create that change you desire. You're understanding more about your circumstances and the people involved. You're getting the positive meaning. So this new outlook and being very realistic, being very practical, and not letting your emotions get in the way. The Chariot says, have discipline. You're going to be able to use how you feel to work for you rather than against you. There's something you want to achieve, and you're having to take things one step at a time. You may be frustrated because you wanted things to move quickly, but this is about, getting there brick by brick. And, you're coming up with a plan, but you're not getting too far ahead of yourself. For some of you, though, you're not capable of making those changes. You've closed off somehow. And maybe you're falling back into some old habits, some things that are unhealthy for you, unhealthy connections, situations that get in the way of your advancement. Especially if you have suffered a loss or you feel confused about your direction, you may need to sort out your feelings, the facts, your plan, and rethink some things before you move ahead. Maybe you failed initially, or maybe you're losing your strength or your power, or you're being overpowered by others. There's some kind of challenge or barrier for you to overcome. And it's important that whatever you're doing is built on a solid foundation, that it's realistic, and that you're not being overly defensive. So you may be struggling to express yourself. This could be verbally through your communication. It could be you're trying to make something happen by doing what you love, or you want to feel happy and express yourself joyfully. Some of you may be struggling with your health, or there's some things that you have been bottling up inside that you need to release. Now you have two major cards, the Chariot and the Sun. And so it could be success at overcoming something connected to communication, a conflict, or traveling. For others of you, maybe you're conflicted about how you feel, something to do with your health or a child. But there's something that you have to overcome. Communication is an issue. Maybe somebody's not being very practical, or they're irrational or illogical. Something about your situation ties to the past. There are some questions from the past that are now influencing the present. There's also going to be a change in your ambitions. You are having to go over some old ground, tie up some loose ends, deal with some unfinished business, address some things that perhaps you've been putting off, avoiding, procrastinating. Now you're having to deal with that and wrap it up. And it's also having to do with the way you're thinking, your moods, your views, your attitudes, the environment, the things that are going on around you and how you respond to that, as well as your productivity, your creativity, your passion. And for some of you, this is a period where, there's a lot of passivity or excessive emotion, but somewhere deep inside you, there's still that small flame of desire that's burning underneath the surface. And things may not be moving just yet, but there is still hope. Now, this Queen of Pentacles can be misunderstood. Maybe she's criticized. But what she really wants to do is play a supporting role for you. She wants to provide support. She wants to do the right thing. And this is a role that's very familiar to her, or perhaps to you if you're the Queen of Pentacles. This is the person who always saves the day. They're always there. You can count on this person. So this is the role that they continue to play. And there's a message about accepting help regardless of how strong you think you are. All right, Virgo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please subscribe. You can join me on Patreon to receive extras, or at Instagram, or at my blog for a daily post. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.